Hi, I'm Mike, PokeTips Mike, and today I'm going to teach you how you can breed for shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. In this guide, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about breeding for shiny Pokemon, how it works, what you need, and what you could do to make this method as fast as possible. Now, I'm assuming that you already know the basics of Pokemon breeding, like if you want to breed a Pokemon, you need a male and a female in the same egg group, and the offspring will always be in the same family as the female, or you could use a Ditto with either a male or female Pokemon, and the egg will always be based off of the Pokemon that isn't Ditto. I'm also not going to be going into detail about IVs, natures, or egg moves in this guide, since you can easily change those later on with mints, hyper training, and other mechanics. If you want to know the details about all that good stuff, check out my full breeding guide, which I'll link in the description. Today, we're just focusing on shiny Pokemon. So shiny Pokemon are pretty rare normally. You have a 1 in 4,096 chance of encountering one or getting one to hatch from an egg. However, through breeding, we could do something called the Masuda method to bring those odds down significantly to 1 in 682 or 1 in 512 if you're lucky enough to have the shiny charm. And all you need to do to activate the Masuda method is just be breeding two Pokemon together that are from different language games. That's it. This method has actually been in every single Pokemon game since Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Game Freak director Junichi Masuda actually programmed it into those games, since Diamond and Pearl being on the Nintendo DS were the first Pokemon games where you could really trade worldwide with people across the globe. So obviously, with that being said, the first and most important thing that you'll need to do this method is a Pokemon from a different language game. So for example, if you're playing an English game, you could breed an English Pokemon with anything that's either Japanese, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Korean, or Chinese, and you'll get those increased odds of having a shiny Pokemon. You can tell a Pokemon's from a different language game because first off, the name is probably going to be a little different than what you're used to, and also in the right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little symbol that shows what language game the Pokemon was originally from. There's a few different methods on how you could get yourself a foreign Pokemon. The first and probably easiest way is by having Nintendo Switch Online, the online service, and using the surprise trade system. With this, you could randomly send a Pokemon off, and somebody will randomly send the Pokemon right back to you. Since Pokemon is popular worldwide, you'll easily get Pokemon from different language games by doing this. Now, a strategy that I've used to get some foreign Pokemon is do surprise trades late at night during the United States time. I've done a lot of surprise trades around midnight Eastern time, which is very late to play Pokemon, I know, but when it's around midnight in Eastern time, it's about 2 in the afternoon in Japan. Most American players are asleep around this time or just not playing Pokemon, and Japanese players are awake and doing surprise trades. So with this, you'll be very likely to get a foreign Pokemon you could use for the Masuda method. For example, a few nights ago I did some surprise trades, and I actually got myself a Japanese Sobble, which was perfect because I wanted to shiny hunt for some of the starters. But ideally, you'd want a foreign Ditto since Ditto can breed with anything, so once you get one of those, you really don't have to worry about getting any other foreign language Pokemon. And since you can't control what you get over surprise trade, since, well, it's a surprise, then surprise trade might not be the best place for you to get one of those. So in that case, there are a few recommendations I have to help you get a foreign Ditto. Number 1 is you could go catch a Ditto at the Lake of Outrage in the wild area, then go into the comment section below this video and try to set up a trade with somebody who has a different language Ditto than you. Number 2, you could go on Reddit and check out the Pokemon Trades Reddit or the Breeding Ditto Reddit if that one's open right now. Or number 3, you could check out Pokemon-related Discord servers, and I'm sure somebody on one of those will have a Ditto to trade you. Follow those steps, and you'll easily be able to get yourself a different language Ditto. Now, once you have the Pokemon you want to breed and a different language Pokemon to do the Masuda method with, there's a few things you're going to want to get before you actually start breeding just to make this method as fast as possible. Number 1, go to Route 3 and capture yourself a Roly-Coly. Roly-Coly has the ability Steam Engine, and when you have this Pokemon in front of your party with an egg in it, it'll actually cut in half the amount of steps that you need to take to hatch an egg. Pokemon with the ability Magma Armor or Flame Body do the exact same thing, but Roly-Coly is so easy to capture, so just go ahead and get yourself one of those. Then you'll absolutely want to have beaten the game so you're able to obtain the item the Oval Charm. Now, if you don't know what the Oval Charm does, the Oval Charm basically makes it so you're more likely to get an egg from the daycare people. When you're trying to hatch Pokemon and get a shiny, you're definitely going to want to be going through as many eggs as possible as fast as possible, so this is an essential item. You could easily get this item by going to Sir Chester and going into the hotel. On the second floor of the hotel, first room on the left, if you go in there, you'll see a little police guy, and his name is Morimoto, and he's based off of the game designer Shigeki Morimoto. He is a full team of 6 level 65 Pokemon, so he can be kind of tough, but when you beat him, he'll give you the very precious Oval Charm. So at this point, you should be ready to breed. You have Roly-Coly, so it'll have the amount of steps you need to take to actually hatch an egg. You have your foreign Pokemon, hopefully a Ditto, so you could do the Masuda method. And you also have the Oval Charm, so you're more likely to get an egg from the daycare lady. So now it's time to go to the daycare nursery. In Sword and Shield, there's actually 2 different nurseries you could choose from, and both are pretty much the same, although they do have some minor differences that might make you like one more than the other. The first one you could go to is on Route 5, east of Turfield. Now this one's really nice because it has a very long straight path that you could easily run left and right on to hatch your eggs pretty quickly, so it's not a bad option to use for your daycare at all. However, I prefer using the one in the wild area. This daycare is at the Bridgefield section of the wild area, and the whole reason that I like this one a little bit more than the other one is because you could easily breed Pokemon without paying much attention here. If you hold both of your Joy-Con sticks to the left or both of the sticks on your Pro Controller to the left, the game has you run around in circles since you're moving your character and moving the camera at the same time. Now this is super good for breeding because it allows you to breed and hatch your Pokemon really easily without changing your direction like you're gonna have to do eventually when you use the Route 5 daycare instead. Now another reason I like this one a little bit better is because you could run around in circles and basically keep the nursery woman in your sight the whole time you're doing this. Now the reason this is important is because you'll easily be able to see when an egg is ready. You'll notice that she crosses her arms when she has an egg ready for you to take. Since you'll be running in circles nearby her, it's very easy to keep her in your line of sight, and you'll always be able to know when a new egg is ready for you to take, which will speed up your breeding pretty tremendously. I'd recommend if you breed here, do it around the spot where I'm doing it. If you do it too close to the grass, a Pokemon might spawn and come at you and chase you down, and you definitely don't want that when you're trying to breed Pokemon. Either way, both of these daycares are great, and it's all up to your personal preference on which one you'd use, although I'd say personally, I find the one in the wild area a little bit faster since you're always keeping an eye on the nursery lady and you're running around pretty consistently. And with that, you now know how you could use breeding to shiny hunt in Pokemon Sword and Shield. You know how it works, you know what you need, and you know how to hatch your eggs as quickly as possible. So with that information, my friends, I hope the odds will be ever in your favor. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you haven't already, make sure you give it a thumbs up right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for more Pokemon content just like this. Follow me on Instagram at PokeTipsMike, and my friends, I'll be seeing you in the next one.